Okay, we are in module 3.8 and we are going to learn right now how to multiply two binomial expressions together. Something we have not yet ever done. Okay, let's recall. What does the word binomial mean? Binomial means two terms, and those two terms are either separated by addition or subtraction. So we're going to multiply two terms times two terms. Now, how does this relate to what you learned in elementary school? Let's relate it by thinking about multiplying two-digit numbers. So, for example, think about third grade. Third grade, you learned 3 times 4. A monomial times a monomial, you did it in your head, you got 12. But in third grade, when you had to learn how to multiply 23 times 45, did you guys learn how to do that in your head? No. You learned to multiply a two-digit number, 23, times a two-digit number, 45. You needed paper. And you needed to work it out by a step-by-step process. And you know when you learn how to multiply two-digit numbers, you didn't multiply horizontally, you had to do it vertically. So if you look at your slide, let's go through that process together. When we're multiplying 23 times 45 and we line it up vertically, does it matter who we line up first? No, because both numbers are two digits. So it doesn't matter if you put the 23 first or the 45 first. I started with the 23. When you multiply 23 times 45, what you guys are really doing is you're distributing. You're multiplying each specific digit to the other digit. You're making sure you multiply each term to each term. So let's go through that process. To multiply 23 times 45, you start with the digit 5. So you say 5, which is in the ones place, times 3, which is in the one place, and you get 15. But you can't write 15 down. So 15 is a group of 10 and 5 ones. So you put the 5 down and then you carried the 1, right? Then you did 5 to the digit 2. 5 times 2 is 10. But then you had that 1 you carried, which made 11. And that's what you wrote down. So if you think about it, what you did is you took that 5, that digit 5, and you distributed it. You multiplied it to 3, and then you multiplied it to 2. But you weren't done there. Because after you distributed the 5, then you had to distribute the digit 4. So what you did is because 4 was now in the tens place, you put your placeholder 0, because you were done with the ones column, and now you went to the tens column. You did 4 times 3, which is 12. Well, you couldn't write down the 12. 12 is one group of 10 and 2. So you carried the 1, but you wrote the 2 in the tens place. Then you did 4 times 2, you got 8, and added the 1 you carried, which is 9, and that's where you got the 920. Then you took all those numbers in those columns and added them. So you started the ones, 5 plus 0 is 5, 1 10 plus 2 tens is 3 tens, 1 100 and 9 100 is 10 hundredths, which really is 1,000. And that's where you got the product, 1,035. And I bet all of you can do that process on paper beautifully. Well, sweethearts, if that's how you multiply a two-digit number times a two-digit number in arithmetic by doing it on paper, then that's how you multiply a binomial times a binomial in algebra. You do it on paper. And I'm going to show you how you do it exactly the same way you do third grade arithmetic. You line it up vertically and you distribute. So, for example, if you look at this slide, in my notes I want to multiply 2x plus 3 times 4x plus 5. Those are both binomials. So the first thing I say to myself is, I say, oh, they're binomials. It's like third grade math. It's like two-digit numbers. I line them up vertically. I'm going to distribute. I'm going to start with the 5. And I'm going to distribute it to 3. Well, 5 times 3 is 15. Now that we're doing algebra, there's no carrying. You just write the positive 15. Then you multiply the 5 and you multiply it to the 2x. And 5 times 2x is 10x. Now we're done distributing the 5. So we're going to put a 0 as our placeholder and move to the 4x. And we're going to distribute that. 4x times 3 is 12x. We're in the tens column now. 4x times 2x. Well, 4 times 2 is 8, And x times x till the day you die is x squared. That's where the 8x squared comes from. Now, the reason why I like this is, number one, you're used to doing it this way vertically. And number two, if you look, all your columns are lined up with like terms. Now you know who to add. 8x squared has nobody else to add to, so you bring it down. 10x and 12x are like terms. You can add them and get 22x. 15 has nothing to add to but 0. 15 plus 0 is 15. Not only if you multiply binomials vertically are all the like terms collected where you know who to add, your answer is already written in the correct descending order. You have 8x squared plus 22x plus 15. I know most of you have never seen multiplication of algebra done that way. I say to you, why do we have to do anything different? Algebra is directly related to arithmetic. If you learn to multiply two-digit numbers by lining it up vertically and distributing, that's how you multiply binomials in algebra. You line them up vertically and you distribute. Okay, in our video coming up, we're going to try this. See you then.